Here's a story about a big case of vehicle title fraud where hundreds of vehicles worth millions of dollars were improperly titled, and some of the owners weren't even aware that these titles were bogus. So the Wisconsin DMV found millions of dollars in title fraud, and there was an investigator with the department that had noted some irregularities with paperwork that replacement Mississippi titles were being submitted to Wisconsin, and that was out of whack. It didn't make sense for Mississippi titles coming into Wisconsin. So the investigator looked into it more. He reviewed the titles and determined that people with no ties to Wisconsin were submitting applications to obtain titles, and that these were counterfeit titles from other states. So he worked with the NICB, and we've talked about the NICB before. We have links to their website and some of their searches they do. And they verified the titles and they recovered the vehicles. They found 16 stolen vehicles worth $500,000 and 112 fraudulent documents that were vehicles worth $4 million. Title fraud charges have been filed against 8 people and pending against another 23 people involving 34 vehicles. The top 3 makes, and we see this a lot, Land Rover and Jeep, a lot of times are the vehicles that are attempted with title fraud. We see this a few times a year where somebody will try to ask us to prepare paperwork for a vehicle, and it turns out the vehicle's stolen or there's something that's not right about it. And so many times we find it's a Land Rover or Jeep. In fact, there was a case out of San Diego where a potential client had 15 or 20 vehicles that were all brand new Land Rovers and Jeeps, and he had them parked all around his cul-de-sac in his neighborhood. Brand new 2018 and 19 vehicles he was trying to get titles for and to remove liens. So those models are not surprising to see. And then this investigator won an award for his expertise in identifying title fraud. So be aware that if you're looking to get a title for a vehicle, make sure that the methods that are being used are true and correct. If you're having somebody else do title work for you, make sure that they're a legitimate company, check their address, make sure that it's a legitimate place. It's not just a P.O. box or, a body shop or a garage that really is doing something the wrong way. And make sure you know what documents are being filed. Don't let somebody else just file documents on your behalf and get a title that you don't know how it's being done. Make sure you look at the documents. You're the one that's signing them because you're the one that's going to be on the hook for that title if it ever gets revoked.